This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network Limited. We broadcast from our studios at 14 Ocean Boulevard in the Digicel Center, downtown Kingston, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band, 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, RevoNews.ai and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Friday, January 2, 2026. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness uses New Year's message to assure the country remains in good hands. And opposition leader Mark Golding calls for unity as the country begins rebuilding in 2026. Jamaica ended 2025 with no reported murders on the last day of the year. In regional news, TNT records 5 homicides among 11 deaths at dawn of New Year. In international news, a fire in a Swiss ski resort bar has left about 40 people dead. In sports, FIFA approves a record-breaking distribution of over $700 million to be distributed in World Cup 2026. And in business, China's BYD set to overtake Tesla as world's top EV seller. The details after the break.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the country remains in good hands as the nation heads into a new year. He sought to give the assurance as part of his New Year's message on Thursday.
Jamaica enters this new chapter on stronger footing than at any other time in our history. Our economy is more stable. Our public finances are better managed. Our institutions are more credible. We have strengthened our capacity to respond to shocks, whether economic, climatic, or social. Let us use this foundation not only to rebuild, but to reimagine Jamaica. Let this new year be defined by clarity of purpose, steadiness of effort, and confidence in our shared future. Let us continue building communities that are safer, more beautiful, homes that are stronger, and an economy that works for all Jamaicans.
Prime Minister Holness highlighted the devastating impact Hurricane Melissa has had on the country, interrupting its upward economic trajectory. He vows to bring the nation back on stable footing in 2026. However, he used his New Year's message to remind the nation that there are challenges still ahead. But he says Jamaica must prepare to weather the storm.
While no one can predict the future with certainty, the analysis is clear. Climate shocks, geopolitical shocks, and economic shocks will create crises in 2026. We must therefore use our strengths, seize our opportunities, overcome our weaknesses, and protect ourselves from the threats that will come. We must prepare to withstand crises, absorb their impacts, and recover quickly. Without fear of contradiction, no other Prime Minister and government of Jamaica has faced the number and magnitude of crises that my administration has had to address. And equally, without fear of empirical contradiction, no other administration can show the results of achievements of the last 10 years.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness says the government will soon in the new year embark on a program to restore the homes of many Jamaicans impacted by Hurricane Melissa.
We are in a position to respond effectively, as we did during COVID-19 with one of the largest direct social care programs in our history. And again, after Beryl, when over 16,000 Jamaicans received rehabilitation and rebuilding grants. Shortly, we will launch a targeted home repair and household rehabilitation program for persons assessed as being tangibly affected by Hurricane Melissa. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security has already conducted over 50,000 assessments, giving us the critical mass of data needed to begin payment. The JDF, along with volunteer engineering corps from Ghana and Guyana, is already restoring roofs. Modular, semi-permanent housing solutions have been ordered to provide shelter for those who have lost their entire homes.
And Dr. Holness also again touted the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority and its role in ensuring the country builds back better.
The crisis also provides a brief window for a turning point. Hurricane Melissa has given us that window, an opportunity to build forward better, both in the affected areas and across nationally strategic infrastructure and economic sectors. To lead this effort, we will establish the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, with special powers to coordinate a cohesive economic and infrastructure plan for roads, schools, hospitals, security, local government, housing, land regularization, tourism, agriculture, logistics, mining, and the creative industry. This is our opportunity to purposefully build the Jamaica of the future, the Jamaica we all dream of, but which has long been constrained by structures of the past.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. And Prime Minister Holness also reflected on the major achievement of the nation in terms of crime reduction. He touted the record reduction in murders, crediting the success to all Jamaicans.
We can now claim the third consecutive year of decline in murders. 8% in 2023, 19% in 2024, and 42% in 2025. Though approximately 670 Jamaicans were murdered last year, still far too many, we give thanks for the more than 470 lives spared compared to 2024. This is the lowest number of murders in 31 years and well below the psychological barrier of 1,000. This achievement belongs to all of us.
Dr. Holness also says more will be done to address the underlying issues which drive criminality in 2026.
We will maintain our vigilant posture against gangs, but we also recognize that violence has become the first resort in too many homes, too many relationships, too many communities. In 2026, our national security strategy will focus heavily on peace building in homes, in schools, and in communities, as we work to purge our society of violent tendencies and dysregulated behaviors.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Opposition leader Mark Golding is calling for unity as the country begins the long journey of rebuilding in 2026. He made the plea as part of his New Year's message on Thursday.
Even as the immense challenges of 2025 continue to affect us, we welcome the new year 2026 with the great determination that defines us as a people. A new year means a chance to turn over a new leaf and make a fresh start by embracing changes that will make us better and stronger. As our nation engages in the immense and difficult journey of trying to bounce back from a catastrophic disaster, the new year springs forth a new momentum to drive the massive effort that is needed to get our country back on her feet again.
Golding thanked the Jamaican people for strengthening the opposition's position in the House of Representatives. He says the opposition will continue to use this improved mandate to hold the government to account during this period of rebuilding.
It is therefore clear that many Jamaicans are seeking a different style of leadership that embraces integrity, accountability, accessibility, and responsive governance. Our strengthened position in the Parliament allows us to scrutinize government actions with greater forcefulness and effectiveness as we press for transparency and champion policies that protect the vulnerable and uplift working families. We have avoided any temptation to make political mileage out of this disaster. We speak out on behalf of communities that we represent, passing on vital information so that they can get the support they desperately need. As 2026 unfolds, we will remain steadfast in our role, standing with the people and advocating tirelessly on their behalf.
Mark Golding, opposition leader. Jamaica ended 2025 with one final success in efforts to reduce murders and major crimes across the country. This as there were no reported murders on December 31, the final day of the year. However, the country started the new year with 4 police fatal shootings in the early morning of 2026. Siobhan Campbell has that story.
Nationwide News understands that 673 people were killed in 2025. That represents a 31-year low in murders in Jamaica. The last time fewer people were killed was 1994, when the murder tally was 628. The last time Jamaica recorded fewer than 1,000 murders in a calendar year was 2004, when the murder tally was 975. The 43% decline in murders in 2025 represents the third consecutive year of declines in homicides. In 2022, there was 1,498 murders, an increase of 24 over the previous year. In 2023, there was 1,393 murders, and in 2024, there was 1,141. In correspondence sent to the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake thanked the members for their efforts in achieving what he described as an historic low in murders in 2025. He hailed the constabulary's professionalism, sacrifice, teamwork, and unwavering commitment in achieving the 3-decade low in murders. However, 2026 kicked off another police statistic. 4 men were killed in separate confrontations with the police in the early hours of the new year. Preliminary reports indicate that fatal police shootings occurred around 12:05 a.m. in multiple locations across St. James, St. Andrew North, and the Kingston Western Police Divisions. 2 of the 4 police killings were reported in Granville, St. James, where police say they responded to reports of an illegal gun salute. During the operation, the lawmen allegedly came under attack from armed men. A shootout ensued during which 2 alleged gunmen were shot and killed. The police say 4 people were wounded in the shootout. A 4-year-old child is among them. An AK-47 was reportedly seized at the scene. In a separate incident in Olympic Gardens, Kingston, an unidentified man was shot and killed during a confrontation with police around the same time. Police said a Beretta pistol along with a magazine containing 3 rounds of ammunition was seized. The final fatal police confrontation was reported in St. Andrew North in the Big Yard area of Mannings Hill Road. Police have identified the deceased as 29-year-old Shamar Turner, who was shot during a confrontation. 1 illegal firearm was reportedly seized during that incident. Investigations into all the shootings are still ongoing. The country ended 2025 with a 64% increase in fatal police shootings. More than 300 Jamaicans were killed by the security forces last year. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
The baby girl who was injured during an alleged shootout between police and gunmen in St. James on New Year's Day has succumbed to her injuries. Nationwide News understands the child succumbed to her injuries while being treated at hospital Thursday morning. The police have identified her as 4-year-old Romaine Bowman. Preliminary reports indicate that around 12:05 a.m., security forces responded to reports of an illegal gun salute in Granville in the parish. During the operation, the lawmen allegedly came under attack from armed men. A shootout ensued, during which 2 alleged gunmen were shot and killed. Initial reports were 4 people were wounded in the shootout, and an AK-47 rifle was reportedly seized at the scene. Bowman was among the wounded. The young girl was reportedly shot in the back. Angry residents blocked several roads in the community in protest. It's understood the residents blame members of the military for shooting and killing the child. The Independent Commission of Investigations is probing the incident. Now, 2 teen girls were shot and injured shortly after midnight on New Year's Day by what's believed to be falling projectiles from illegal gun salutes. The incidents occurred at identical times in St. Catherine and Kingston. In one incident, a 13-year-old Canadian girl was sitting on her veranda in Greater Portmore, St. Catherine, watching fireworks when, at 12:02 a.m., she reportedly felt a burning sensation on her thigh. The teen reportedly saw blood. She was treated at Spanish Town Hospital for a gunshot wound. In the other incident, reports are a 14-year-old girl from Bond Street in Kingston was sitting under a tree watching fireworks when she felt a burning sensation on her shoulder. The girl reportedly saw blood and was treated at Kingston Public Hospital for a gunshot wound. In the lead-up to New Year's Eve celebrations, both the police and the Firearm Licensing Authority warned against illegal gun salutes. 3 individuals, including a member of the constabulary, are believed to have drowned at Sandhill Beach in Helsha, St. Catherine on Thursday. Reports are that 2 of the individuals, a woman and a 13-year-old boy, faced difficulty while swimming. A constable assigned to the Portmore Police reportedly attempted to rescue them. The woman was subsequently rescued and taken to Spanish Town Hospital. However, she was later pronounced dead. The constable and the child have not yet been found. Industry Minister Senator Aubin Hill says the nature of government procurement must be revamped heading into the new year. Senator Hill, who has long lamented the inefficiency of the government bureaucracy, says it's becoming a hindrance to delivering what's needed by the Jamaican people.
The procurement system is going to have to change anyway, because we do want to have getting value for money for the taxpayers, but we can't have that need to get value hinder everything else. And what it does is that it gives people in our own government, in our own ministries, reasons to say, I can't do this because I must follow this rule. For instance, until we get the changes, my idea with my 20 agencies, as I converted the ministry into a one big working group, I said, look, let's look at collapsing the time. If a thing has to go through 3 barriers, I call them barriers, to get to a decision, speed up the time it takes to move from one barrier to the next.
Senator Hill was speaking recently on Nationwide at 5, citing the establishment of a National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority to fast-track Hurricane Melissa restoration efforts. The industry minister says the government as a whole has to adopt a similar approach. However, he says that this will require a major shift to overcome entrenched practices which have formed the nature of the civil service for many years.
What somebody like me coming from the private sector would call, maybe a little bit unfairly, but certainly it looks that way, a measure of foot dragging. In other words, they slow it down, because when you're a public servant and you spend 15, 20 years in government, what you really have looking at is clearly your current salary, but you're looking at a pension, and your reputation may affect that pension or even the job. So they're very careful to dot every I and cross every T in their view, and they become very risk averse, collapsing even a process to make it go faster than they used to do. It seems to be a challenge, but some people are reacting, they understand, but it's not easy.
Aubin Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:19.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, Trinidad and Tobago recorded 11 deaths between the last day of 2025 and New Year's Day 2026. These included 5 homicides and 6 other fatal incidents. The murders occurred in East Port of Spain, El Socorro, Marabella, Pinal, and Delafoot, Tobago. The first murder of 2026 was of 58-year-old businessman Ricky Taylor. He was fatally shot near his business place in Port of Spain. According to Guardian Media, Taylor, a well-known member of the community, had reportedly been threatened by gang members in the area. Police said investigators believe he may have been providing information to law enforcement. International Swiss police are working to identify the victims of a fire at a bar in the Alpine ski resort of Crans-Montana. Around 40 people died in the blaze on New Year's Eve, and more than 100 others are injured. Officers warned the process could take days or weeks. French and Italian authorities say they have citizens missing, including a 16-year-old boy. At a hospital in Geneva, a doctor says patients, some as young as 15, are being treated for severe burns. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
This Christmas, choose life. As we recover from Hurricane Melissa's devastation, we're reminded that life is fragile. Pedestrians, stay alert. Drivers, slow down. Rest if you're tired, and never drink and drive. One careless decision can change a family forever. Let's have a safe and prayerful Christmas and a crash-free 2026.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Time now for your morning sports. The FIFA Council met ahead of the FIFA Intercontinental Cup final in Doha, Qatar, and took key decisions in relation to the development of youth football and governance matters. With excitement mounting following the final draw that took place on December 5, 2025 in Washington, D.C., the FIFA Council approved a record-breaking financial contribution of $727 million to be distributed as a result of the FIFA World Cup 2026. The biggest share is $655 million. It marks a 50% increase compared to the previous edition. It will be paid out as prize money among the 48 participating teams as follows: champions $50 million, runner-up $33 million, third place $29 million, fourth place $27 million, fifth to eighth place $19 million, ninth to 16th place $15 million, 17th to 32nd place $11 million, 33rd to 48th place $9 million. In addition, each qualified team will receive $1.5 million to cover preparation costs. This means that all participating member associations are guaranteed at least $10.5 million each for their participation in the tournament. Gabon's government has suspended the national team, banned striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and sacked coach Thierry Muyuma after their exit from the Africa Cup of Nations. The sports minister announced the measures after the 3-2 defeat by Ivory Coast on December 31. Gabon finished bottom of their group in Morocco after earlier losses to Cameroon and Mozambique, performances the sports minister described as disgraceful. Finally, in your morning sports, Australia batter Usman Khawaja says he is still battling racial stereotypes as he announced his retirement from international cricket. The 39-year-old will play his 88th test in the Ashes finale against England, starting on Sunday in Sydney, on the ground where he made his debut against the same opponents in 2011. Khawaja was born in Pakistan and became the first Muslim to play for Australia when he took the place of Ricky Ponting at the end of England's 3-1 series win 15 years ago. The left-hander made his announcement at the Sydney Cricket Ground on Thursday in an emotional 50-minute news conference attended by his wife, 2 daughters, and parents. And that's it for your morning sports.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In business this morning, China's BYD is set to overtake Elon Musk at Tesla as the world's biggest seller of electric vehicles, EVs. This marking the first time it has outpaced its American rival for annual sales. On Thursday, BYD said that sales of its battery-powered cars rose last year by almost 28% to more than 2.25 million. Tesla, which is due to reveal its total sales for 2025 later on Friday, last week published analysts' estimates suggesting that it had sold around 1.65 million vehicles for the year as a whole. The U.S. firm has faced a tough year with a mixed reception to new offerings, unease over Musk's political activities, and intensifying competition from Chinese rivals. Chinese firms such as MG and BYD, now the country's largest electric car company, have put pressure on Western rivals by pricing their vehicles below established brands. In October, Tesla responded by launching lower-priced versions of its two best-selling models in the U.S. in a bid to boost sales. Musk, who is already the world's richest man, is tasked with significantly boosting Tesla's sales and stock market value over the next decade to secure a record-breaking pay package. The deal, which was approved by shareholders in November, could see him getting a payout of as much as $1 trillion. Finally, in business, Bulgaria, the poorest country in the EU, has become the 21st member of the Eurozone, leapfrogging more obvious and prosperous candidates like Poland, the Czech Republic, and Hungary. For mostly urban, young, and entrepreneurial Bulgarians, it's an optimistic and potentially lucrative leap, the final move in a game which has brought Bulgaria into the European mainstream, from NATO and EU membership to joining the Schengen zone and now the euro. For the older, rural, more conservative parts of the population, the replacement of the Bulgarian lev by the euro provokes fear and resentment. The lev, meaning lion, has been the Bulgarian currency since 1881. Opinion polls put Bulgaria's 6.5 million population more or less equally divided on the new currency, and political turmoil is not making the transition easy. And that's it for business this morning.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:30.
Hi, I'm Kalila Enriquez Reynolds, and I know a thing or two about smart money moves. Hiring a real estate professional isn't just about houses. It's about hiring someone skilled, competent, and most importantly, licensed. Check with the real estate board before entering into an agreement with a dealer, salesman, or developer. Visit the search register at reb.gov.jm or call the board today at 926-9748-9.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Yesterday, now's the time for us to say Happy New Year, Happy New Year. May we all have a vision now and then of a world where every neighbor is a friend. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. May we all have our homes, our will to try. If we don't, we might as well lay down and die. You and I. Sometimes I see all the brave new world arise, and I see how it thrives in the ashes of our lives. Oh yes, man is a fool, and he thinks he'll be okay, dragging on feet of clay, never knowing he's astray, keeps on going anyway. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. May we all have a vision now and then of a world where every neighbor is a friend. Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
6:35 on this January 2, 2026. It's Friday, January 2, 2026. It's a rather odd day to be starting the first year of programming, but it is what we do. And this is Nationwide 90 FM. You know where you are. We are the proud 4%ers. And this is Nationwide this morning, and my name is George.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sir Davis. How are you?
I am very good. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Happy New Year to you as well. I trust you had a very, very restive Christmas.
Restive.
Restful Christmas.
I got what I wanted. Let's just say that I got what I wanted, and I rested enough. But while you rested, there were many of us here working. You know.
Oh.
Yeah? Yes. So you did the resting for me. You did the bulk of the resting for me. So what are your plans for the new year, son? What are you hoping for?
Ah, boy, what am I hoping for? You know, well, as I said, we just exited 2025. And yes, with a new year comes new challenges and, as we hope, new opportunities, both individually and collectively, for this rock we call Jamaica. And I'm sure chief on everyone's mind remains the impact of Hurricane Melissa, with relief efforts now transitioning to rebuilding and restoration. The government is already taking the opportunity to shift how they approach many of the development issues such as housing, infrastructure, and disaster risk mitigation. But for me, I think there's a fundamental aspect of development that today, as a country, we've done a poor job of addressing, and that's the socialization of the Jamaican people themselves. It's plain to see for anyone born before the 21st century, and even in the early 21st century, that how we relate to one another in this country has fundamentally decayed. There is simply a complete lack of civility in much of society, coupled with a growing moral decay and open permissiveness of behaviors that run counter to the foundational principles of Jamaican society. At the heart of this decay is what I dub a breakdown of ritual, routine, and shame. I don't need to explain these terms by themselves. I think most, if not all of us, understand the basic definition of the three, but how they relate to shaping a society, I believe, can be best summarized in a single word: tradition. So let's start with ritual. A ritual is an act carried out solely based on specific circumstances. A ritual is almost superstitious in nature, carried out by rote, indifference to the matter at hand. Why does your granny, for example, George, bless the entrance of the house the family just moved into with oil? You probably don't know. She herself probably doesn't know the genesis of the practice either, but she does it because it was a practice handed down by her granny and her granny's granny before her as fundamental to a happy household. It sounds silly to a lot of listeners and viewers, I'm sure, but it's simple. Practices like this, emulated across a society, keeps it cohesive. The celebration of Christmas is steeped in ritual. Others, such as 9 nights, bring families together in times of mourning. Many of these ritualistic practices have been lost or supplanted with less wholesome variations designed solely for immediate gratification rather than the family and community building exercises they are meant to represent. We as people need to revisit these rituals, be reminded of their meaning, and reinforce their purpose for future generations. When we talk about things such as filial piety as practiced in the East, in countries such as Japan and in South Korea, their heritage and traditions are maintained almost exclusively by a strong adherence to the rituals and ceremonies practiced going back centuries. And they've been better able to weather the storm of modernity as a result of it. We need to find the opportunity to do the same here in Jamaica. And well, that brings us next now to the area of concern, routines. Different from a ritual, a routine is carried out with deliberate regularity and maintained for the benefit it is believed to bring. Going to the gym every morning, eating lunch at a particular hour, and in bed by another. These are routines adopted for an obvious purpose. I don't know if you're clearly old enough, George, to remember that at the end of you're clearly old enough, I'm going to say it again. At the end of each day in class, your homeroom teacher starts with the song, "Bits of paper lying on the floor, make the place untidy, pick them up, pick them up." We would all sing along while, of course, going around the classroom, picking up refuse, among other things, to prepare the space for learning the next day. I wonder with genuine curiosity how many schools maintain that routine as a matter of course, or a simple pay for a janitorial service to handle the matter. I wonder again how many parents today would object to their children having to do such a practice as irrelevant to their educational needs. Yet these types of routines instill something important in children well into their adult lives. For example, again, at Japanese schools, even if a janitor exists, it's the students at the beginning and the end of each day who are responsible for the general ordering of a classroom. Similar routines such as morning exercises in schools are also carried out as a means of promoting a healthy lifestyle. These routines often carry over into adulthood in both personal and professional life and can easily be argued is reflected in the general order and cleanliness that Japanese society is known for. Again, we need to revisit and reintroduce similar routines in Jamaica, because where we lament how disgraceful our general surroundings are, along with the decline in both the physical and moral health of society. And finally, we get to what I consider of utmost importance, shame. It sounds naughty, so to speak, but that's the point. Our society, without a doubt, has morally and ethically decayed in all regards, and the basis of that degradation, in my opinion, is a lack of shame, which has given way to unfettered permissiveness in behaviors and attitudes that just a few decades ago would be shunned. Our culture has become so permissive with flaunting behavior that no well-thinking individual would want to emulate on the thin justification of freedom of expression. And it seeps into all facets of life. There is no shame attached to, for example, littering, raucous and lewd music in public spaces or in people's vehicles or on public transport. As a result, enforcement through law becomes the sole method of keeping such behavior in check. And enforcement can only go so far without a proper moral undergirding provided by a healthy dose of shame attached to the behavior at hand. After all, the law should only step in when moral and ethical fiber fails. Again, I use Japan as an example. In their society, there exists a term called NEET, which means not engaged in employment or training. It's a term with significant shame and stigma attached to it. It's an individual who has failed in the basic social requirement of being a productive member of society, and such individuals are equal parts pariah and sought out for intervention. Japan, after all, is a society steeped in both pride and shame, which again enforces acceptable social norms. Now, this also spills over in their approach to crime. Members of criminal gangs in Japanese society are so ostracized from society that the most famous mark of being in a gang, a full-body tattoo known as a irizumi, is enough to both bar you from engaging in normal society while gaining you additional scrutiny from the police. A similar approach is taken to juvenile delinquency. Not being at school at a certain hour, dressing in a certain manner, or maintaining a certain hairstyle marks you and overshadows your actions. Here in Jamaica, we can't even set simple guidelines on appropriate dress, again mistaking unhealthy permissiveness with freedom of expression. In Jamaica, criminals and criminal organizations have supplanted the state in many communities. Music further exalting criminal and destructive behavior is not a subset of our culture. No, it has become our culture. Promoted wholesale by those in media, and even worse, academia has lent more credence and legitimacy to it than it rightly deserves. Listeners and viewers, I'm not suggesting ritual, routine, and shame will eradicate our societal problems, not at all. What I'm suggesting is that maintenance of the three in society is paramount to a healthy dose of shame will limit their reach and keep unwanted and undesirable behavior from taking root in society to the point that an individual not engaging in that behavior becomes the pariah rather than the other way around. So, for 2026, I want to see Jamaica embrace more traditional rituals, more healthy routines, and yes, a great deal more shame. And that is what's on my mind.
Excellent way to start the year, sir.
It's so good. Praise the Most High God every day with your whole heart desire. Lift the mind, lift the mind. Holy, 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 holy. Holy Mount Zion. Good job. Let's sing.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 6:46.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is...
It's 25 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston. It's 24 out west in Montego Bay, and it's a chilly 18 in Mandeville.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
That's right, listeners. It's now time for your first morning traffic bulletin from Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, Siobhan, and who is with you? And
it's George. George is here with me.
George, I didn't hear. Morning, and all the listeners. Morning, George, and all our listeners. Welcome. This is our first report of 2026. And when I start off, let me just tell you right now, there is an accident. Just if you're coming off the toll and you're trying to exit onto the Marcus Garvey off ramp, if you're coming from the 3 miles area, you're going to find a lot of traffic in that area. And why? Trailer has what will be called the word now. It's jackknifed, and it has taken up about 2 lanes, approximately 2 lanes, almost in front of the Tinson Pen Aerodrome. All right, that's on Marcus Garvey Drive. So 1 lane is accessible, and that is going to cause some problem if the traffic really accumulates. So just please make note of it. A truck, a trailer, tractor trailer, whatever you call it, has jackknifed, and it's going to cause some problems later on. So it's going to need a crane or something heavy to remove it. I hope the police gets on the scene as soon as possible. That is it, all right? And the situation, however, in other areas, it's moving along steadily for the time being. If you're under 6 miles to 3 miles so far, making it through the Waterhouse area, it's very good. You can make it through Henley Road, or, all of those areas that take you to Bay Farm Road. Penwood Road is another road you can takes you to Bay Farm Road. And when you get onto Bay Farm Road, Walton is okay in both directions. Keysing Avenue, New York, all of these areas. And also, if you're on the boulevard, it's also steady progress as they make your way heading towards Dunrobin. And if you're heading towards After Tree, it's all so good so far. I believe by next week things will pick up, but so far the movement is good at this particular point in time. So until 7:18, 7:20, it's back to you in the studios.
Thank you for that, Ludlow. Well, listeners, your word of the day is next.
The word of the day is spelled APHORISM. APHORISM.
Aphorism. Aphorism. Aphorism.
Your word of the day is a noun, aphorism. It means a terse saying embodying a general truth or astute observation. Example, power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. A terse saying embodying a general truth or astute observation. As an example, power tends to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It also means, the meaning can be extended to a short, witty statement expressing a general truth or maxim. Another one, children should be seen and not heard, is an example of an aphorism. Or, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, another aphorism. So, aphorism, a noun, APHORISM, a terse saying embodying a general truth or astute observation. Aphorism is your word of the day.
Is your child a completely different person at home than they are in other social settings? Your child may have selective mutism. Selective mutism is often misunderstood and can be misdiagnosed, but early detection and treatment are crucial for better outcomes down the road. In parenting tips today, signs that your child may have selective mutism. Selective mutism was always believed to be rare. However, more children may meet the criteria of a diagnosis than previously thought, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Child psychologist Dr. Kristen Eastman says in the past, children who were thought to be just shy or defiant for not talking may actually meet the criteria for selective mutism. She says shy kids may not volunteer to read aloud to the class, but when they need to do things, they can. The child psychologist says the main difference is that shy children can still navigate everyday tasks, whereas children with selective mutism cannot. What does it look like? A child with selective mutism may not communicate in select social settings, often school, but they can comfortably talk in at least one other place, typically home. Both girls and boys can be affected, though the condition tends to impact girls more than boys. The average age of onset is under age 5, but it's often more evident when a child enters a structured social setting such as preschool or daycare. For example, children with selective mutism are overcome with anxiety at the prospect of giving a book report, saying hello to a classmate, or talking with their coach at soccer practice. So they are rendered frozen and unable to initiate or respond. Because of this, their experience at school and in other social settings may be hindered. Also, teachers may be unable to assess them and they may struggle socially. Selective mutism can look different depending on the child. Some children can only talk to their immediate family and no one else outside of the home, even extended family. Others may talk to relatives they see more regularly and not to those they don't know as well. Some may talk to other children, but not to adults outside of their home. And others may talk to their teacher, when it's one-on-one, but frees up in the larger group setting when others are within earshot. Be on the lookout for these signs of selective mutism. A frozen or unresponsive manner. Rigid, stiff as a board, body posture. Expressionless, flat or deer in headlights face. Slow to respond in a social situation. Clinginess with parents when entering into social settings. It's important for parents to trust their instincts. If you feel like your child is acting very differently in select social settings outside of your home or with select people, it is important to talk with your doctor. Dr. Eastman says the earlier you can make a diagnosis and start intervening, the better the prognosis long term. That's it for Parenting Tips today.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
This is Lifestyle Pages on what to do during a meeting. Greet members and make them feel welcome, even late members, when appropriate. If possible, serve light refreshments. They are good icebreakers and make members feel special and comfortable. 3, begin on time, end on time. 4, review or go over the agenda and set priorities or decide what are the important things to be dealt with first or early in the meeting. 5, stick to the agenda. 6, encourage group discussions to get everyone's views, opinions, and ideas. This way, people will attend the meeting as they feel that their views and ideas matter and are worthwhile. 7, encourage feedback, commitment to the company or workplace, and improvement when members see their impact on the decision-making process. 8, keep conversations focused on the topic or item on the agenda. 9, keep minutes of the meeting for future reference in case a question or problem arises. 10, as the chairman or leader, be a role model by being a good listener. One who pick up by being a good listener. One who shows interest, appreciation, and confidence in appreciation and confidence in members and admits to mistakes. 11, summarize all decisions reached in the meeting. Have members volunteer their thoughts on aspects they feel were good and positive about the meeting and whether the company's mission statement was reflected in all decisions made. 12, set a date, time, and place for the next meeting. I'm Valerie, and those were Lifestyle Pages.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
News on the go. The latest stories from Jamaica and around the world are literally a finger tap away. Keep up to date with Teen Revolution 24 hours a day online via nationwideradiojm.com. Listen live, read the latest stories, hear every soundbite. Be a part of the vibrant online debate via Facebook and Twitter. Now you can get all your favorite premium nationwide content at your convenience. Visit the Android Play Store and download it for free today. NationwideRadioJM.com. All day, every day. Team Revolution.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
From the ground up, let's rebuild stronger, safer, better than before. National Supply, powering Jamaica's comeback. The temperature by National Supply is...
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 18 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 today, Friday, January 2, 2026, Jamaica ends 2025 with no reported murders on the last day of the year. The Prime Minister uses his New Year's message to assure as he seeks to assure the public the country remains in good hands. Meanwhile, the opposition leader calls for unity as the country begins rebuilding in 2026. In international news, a fire at a Swiss ski resort bar killed about 40 people.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Jamaica ended 2025 with more success in its efforts to reduce murders and major crimes across the island. This as there were no reported murders on December 31, the final day of the year. However, things began with 4 police fatal shootings in the early morning of day 1 of 2026. Chevron Campbell has that story.
Nationwide News understands that 673 people were killed in 2025. That represents a 31-year low in murders in Jamaica. The last time fewer people were killed was 1994, when the murder tally was 628. The last time Jamaica recorded fewer than 1,000 murders in a calendar year was 2004, when the murder tally was 975. The 43% decline in murders in 2025 represents the third consecutive year of declines in homicides. In 2022, there was 1,498 murders, an increase of 24 over the previous year. In 2023, there was 1,393 murders, and in 2024, there was 1,141. In correspondence sent to the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake thanked the members for their efforts in achieving what he described as an historic low in murders in 2025. He hailed the constabulary's professionalism, sacrifice, teamwork, and unwavering commitment in achieving the 3-decade low in murders. However, 2026 kicked off another police statistic. 4 men were killed in separate confrontations with the police in the early hours of the new year. Preliminary reports indicate that fatal police shootings occurred around 12:05 a.m. in multiple locations across St. James, St. Andrew North, and the Kingston Western Police Divisions. 2 of the 4 police killings were reported in Granville, St. James, where police say they responded to reports of an illegal gun salute. During the operation, the lawmen allegedly came under attack from armed men. A shootout ensued during which 2 alleged gunmen were shot and killed. The police say 4 people were wounded in the shootout. A 4-year-old child is among them. An AK-47 was reportedly seized at the scene. In a separate incident in Olympic Gardens, Kingston, an unidentified man was shot and killed during a confrontation with police around the same time. Police said a Beretta pistol along with a magazine containing 3 rounds of ammunition was seized. The final fatal police confrontation was reported in St. Andrew North in the Big Yard area of Mannings Hill Road. Police have identified the deceased as 29-year-old Shamar Turner, who was shot during a confrontation. One illegal firearm was reportedly seized during that incident. Investigations into all the shootings are still ongoing. The country ended 2025 with a 64% increase in fatal police shootings. More than 300 Jamaicans were killed by the security forces last year. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
The baby girl who was injured during an alleged shootout between police and the gunmen in St. James on New Year's Day has died. Nationwide News understands the child succumbed to her injuries while being treated at hospital on Thursday morning. She has been identified as 4-year-old Romaine Bowman. Preliminary reports indicate that around 12:05 a.m., security forces responded to reports of an illegal gun salute in Granville in the parish. During the operation, the lawmen allegedly came under attack from armed men. A shootout ensued, during which 2 alleged gunmen were shot and killed. Initial reports were that 4 people were wounded in the shootout and that an AK-47 rifle was reportedly seized at the scene. Bowman was among the wounded. The young girl was reportedly shot in the back. Angry residents blocked several roads in the community in protest. It's understood the residents blame members of the military for shooting and killing the child. The Independent Commission of Investigations is probing the matter. 2 teenage girls were shot and injured shortly after midnight on New Year's Day by what's believed to be falling projectiles from illegal gun salutes. The incidents occurred at identical times in St. Catherine and Kingston. In one incident, a 13-year-old Canadian was sitting on her veranda in Greater Portmore, St. Catherine, watching fireworks when at 12:02 a.m., she reportedly felt a burning sensation on her thigh. The teen then saw blood. She was treated at Spanish Town Hospital for a gunshot wound. In the other incident, reports are a 14-year-old girl from Bond Street in Kingston was sitting under a tree watching fireworks when she felt a burning sensation on her shoulder. She then saw blood and was taken to Kingston Public Hospital where she was treated for a gunshot wound. In the lead-up to New Year's Eve celebrations, both the police and the Firearm Licensing Authority warned against illegal gun salutes. 3 persons, including a member of the constabulary, are believed to have drowned at Sandhill Beach in Hellshire, St. Catherine on Thursday. Reports are 2 of the individuals, a woman and a 13-year-old boy, faced difficulty while swimming. Well, to be more precise, the 13-year-old boy was swimming, got into difficulties. A woman saw him struggling and attempted to assist him. She too got into difficulties. Both were then assisted by a police constable who was on sick leave and vacationing, and holidaying, swimming at the time. And he went to their rescue. And in attempting to rescue them, the woman was retrieved from the water. She was then taken to Spanish Town Hospital. The body of the policeman and the 13-year-old boy have not yet been found. The woman was taken to hospital. She initially showed positive signs, but it's understood she died later while being treated. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the country remains in good hands as the nation heads into the new year. He sought to give the assurance as part of his New Year's message on Thursday.
Jamaica enters this new chapter on stronger footing than at any other time in our history. Our economy is more stable. Our public finances are better managed. Our institutions are more credible. We have strengthened our capacity to respond to shocks, whether economic, climatic, or social. Let us use this foundation not only to rebuild, but to reimagine Jamaica. Let this new year be defined by clarity of purpose, steadiness of effort, and confidence in our shared future. Let us continue building communities that are safer, more beautiful, homes that are stronger, and an economy that works for all Jamaicans.
The Prime Minister highlighted the devastating impact Hurricane Melissa has had on the country, interrupting the upward economic trajectory. He is vowing to bring the nation back on stable footing in 2026. He used his New Year's message to remind the nation that there are challenges still ahead. He says, though, the country should prepare to weather the storm.
While no one can predict the future with certainty, the analysis is clear. Climate shocks, geopolitical shocks, and economic shocks will create crises in 2026. We must therefore use our strengths, seize our opportunities, overcome our weaknesses, and protect ourselves from the threats that will come. We must prepare to withstand crises, absorb their impacts, and recover quickly. Without fear of contradiction, no other Prime Minister and government of Jamaica has faced the number and magnitude of crises that my administration has had to address. And equally, without fear of empirical contradiction, no other administration can show the results of achievements of the last 10 years.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. And the Prime Minister also reflected on the major achievement in terms of crime reduction in 2025.
We can now claim the third consecutive year of decline in murders. 8% in 2023, 19% in 2024, and 42% in 2025. Though approximately 670 Jamaicans were murdered last year, still far too many, we give thanks for the more than 470 lives spared compared to 2024. This is the lowest number of murders in 31 years and well below the psychological barrier of 1,000. This achievement belongs to all of us.
The Prime Minister says more will be done to address the underlying issues which drive criminality in 2026.
We will maintain our vigilant posture against gangs. But we also recognize that violence has become the first resort in too many homes, too many relationships, too many communities. In 2026, our national security strategy will focus heavily on peace building in homes, in schools, and in communities, as we work to purge our society of violent tendencies and dysregulated behaviors.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. And he says the government will in the new year embark on a program to restore the homes of many Jamaicans impacted by Hurricane Melissa.
We are in a position to respond effectively, as we did during COVID-19 with one of the largest direct social care programs in our history. And again, after Beryl, when over 16,000 Jamaicans received rehabilitation and rebuilding grants. Shortly, we will launch a targeted home repair and household rehabilitation program for persons assessed as being tangibly affected by Hurricane Melissa. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security has already conducted over 50,000 assessments, giving us the critical mass of data needed to begin payment. The JDF, along with volunteer engineering corps from Ghana and Guyana, is already restoring roofs. Modular semi-permanent housing solutions have been ordered to provide shelter for those who have lost their entire homes.
The Prime Minister says much will be expected of the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, which has been mandated to ensure the country builds back better.
The crisis also provides a brief window for a turning point. Hurricane Melissa has given us that window, an opportunity to build forward better, both in the affected areas and across nationally strategic infrastructure and economic sectors. To lead this effort, we will establish the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, with special powers to coordinate a cohesive economic and infrastructure plan for roads, schools, hospitals, security, local government, housing, land regularization, tourism, agriculture, logistics, mining, and the creative industry. This is our opportunity to purposefully build the Jamaica of the future, the Jamaica we all dream of, but which has long been constrained by structures of the past.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Meanwhile, the opposition leader Mark Golding is calling for unity as the country begins the long journey of rebuilding in 2026. He made the call during his New Year's message on Thursday.
Even as the immense challenges of 2025 continue to affect us, we welcome the new year 2026 with the great determination that defines us as a people. A new year means a chance to turn over a new leaf and make a fresh start by embracing changes that will make us better and stronger. As our nation engages in the immense and difficult journey of trying to bounce back from a catastrophic disaster, the new year springs forth a new momentum to drive the massive effort that is needed to get our country back on her feet again.
Golding thanked the Jamaican people for strengthening the opposition's position in the House of Representatives. He says the opposition will continue to use this improved mandate to hold the government to account during this period of rebuilding.
It is therefore clear that many Jamaicans are seeking a different style of leadership that embraces integrity, accountability, accessibility, and responsive governance. Our strengthened position in the Parliament allows us to scrutinize government actions with greater forcefulness and effectiveness as we press for transparency and champion policies that protect the vulnerable and uplift working families. We have avoided any temptation to make political mileage out of this disaster. We speak out on behalf of communities that we represent, passing on vital information so that they can get the support they desperately need. As 2026 unfolds, we will remain steadfast in our role, standing with the people and advocating tirelessly on their behalf.
Mark Golding, opposition leader. Industry Minister Senator Aubin Hill says the nature of government procurement must be revamped in this new year. Senator Hill, who has lamented the inefficiency of the government's bureaucracy, says it's becoming a hindrance to delivering what's needed to the Jamaican people.
The procurement system is going to have to change anyway, because we do want to have getting value for money for the taxpayers, but we can't have that need to get value hinder everything else. And what it does is that it gives people in our own government, in our own ministries, reasons to say, I can't do this because I must follow this rule. For instance, until we get the changes, my idea with my 20 agencies, as I converted the ministry into a one big working group, I said, look, let's look at collapsing the time. If a thing has to go through 3 barriers, I call them barriers, to get to a decision, speed up the time it takes to move from one barrier to the next.
Citing the establishment of the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority to fast-track Hurricane Melissa restoration efforts, the industry minister says the government as a whole has to adopt a similar approach. He says this will require a major shift to overcoming entrenched practices which have formed the nature of the civil service, which have dominated the civil service for decades.
What somebody like me coming from the private sector would call, maybe a little bit unfairly, but certainly it looks that way, a measure of foot dragging. In other words, they slow it down, because when you're a public servant and you spend 15, 20 years in government, what you really have looking at is clearly your current salary, but you're looking at a pension, and your reputation may affect that pension or even the job. So they're very careful to dot every I and cross every T in their view, and they become very risk averse. Collapsing even a process to make it go faster than they used to do seems to be a challenge. But some people are reacting, they understand, but it's not easy.
Aubin Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Overseas news now. Investigators on Friday set about the painful task of identifying the burned bodies from a blaze that engulfed a crowded bar and killed 40 people at a New Year's Eve party in the Swiss ski resort of Crans, Montana. A 16-year-old Italian golfer who lived in Dubai was on Friday named as the first of several possible victims from Italy to be identified. Swiss officials warned that naming the victims or establishing a definitive death toll will take time because many of the bodies were charred. Well over 100 of the mostly young revelers who were at Le Constellation Bar are being treated for severe burns. Some accounts from survivors and the footage broadcast on social media suggest the ceiling of the bar's basement may have caught fire when sparkling candles got too close. Visitors and residents of Crans, Montana, which is a popular draw for skiers and golfers, were stunned by the inferno. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:17.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore our range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning, George. Morning to everyone there. And then the listeners, good morning to you all. It's bright and sunny. And I'm going to remind you, if you're coming off that toll, the Portmore, heading on to Marcus Garvey, you're going to have a little build up there. And if you're coming from the Streamers area along from Spanish Town onto Marcus Garvey, I did mention that a trailer, well, they turned or jackknifed, that's the word, and causing some problems. I think it's only one lane that is operational. It's a 3-lane area, and you're going to have some problems there. But in the meantime, the other areas are moving swiftly. If you're going through Half a Tree Square now from Hagley Park Road, a little build up there around South Woodland Avenue, but coming down Constance Spring Road, all the lanes are busy going through Half a Tree Square and down to Hagley Park Road, and also along Half a Tree Road. It's not too bad in the New Kingston area. If you're going through, Knoxford Boulevard, Trafalgar Road, and off Chelsea and Holborn Road, respectively. And going further down, it's much easier going along Camp Road, South Camp Road, and all these areas, heading to, Victoria Avenue to the left and East Queen Street to the right. So it's pretty good, and it's going to be later at the morning progressive. But I don't expect any major delays at this time, provided there are accidents along the roadways. For this year, I like the proper management of the garbage trucks and the tarpaulins on the trucks, taking pebbles and stones and all those weed whackers. I'd love to see them properly insulated. Well, I'll have that guard on it that can minimize those windshield cracks and all of that. So there you go. It's my second report until tomorrow morning. Until Monday morning. Back to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow there with the Street Smarts 2. Up next, front page. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. .21 on the clock. We're getting to the front page now. My name is George.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Before Melissa hit in October last year, Hurricane Melissa, the economy had grown by a little over 5%. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statid released the figures for the July to September quarter of 2025 last Wednesday. Kimon Thompson reports.
According to Statin, the 5.1% outturn was the result of increases in the goods-producing industries of 10.9% and the services industries of 3.3%. It says the economy's performance reflected recovery from the negative impacts of Hurricane Beryl in July 2024. The agriculture, forestry, and fishing industry recorded a 20.9% growth. Mining and quarrying came in at 4%, construction at 5.5%, while manufacturing registered growth of 8.4%. Statin says the 3.3% expansion in the services industries resulted from increases across all sectors, except for public administration and defense, which declined by 0.7%. It says improved performance was recorded in electricity, water supply, and waste management, which recorded a 6.7% growth. Accommodation and food service activities grew by 6.8%, while financial and insurance activities went up to 5.3%. Over the period, January to March 2025, the economy grew by 1.1%. It inched up to 1.6% over the second quarter between April and June when compared to the same period in 2024. Kimone Thompson from Nationwide News.
Thank you, Kimone. Well, joining us this morning to react to the numbers as presented by Statin and, of course, to forecast 2026 and what the outlook will be, well, what the outlook is for 2026. We're joined by economist Keenan Faulkner and a past president of the MSME Alliance, Donovan Wignall. Morning, Keenan. Morning, Donovan. Happy New Year.
Hey, morning, George. Morning, Kevin. Happy New Year to you and the team.
Thank you. Thank you. Donovan, let me start with you. You know, the Statin said it in the notes, the liner notes, that the 5.1% represented recovery, and people will say, well, nothing to get excited about, it's only recovery. But the recovery could have been 0.1%. Instead, it was 5.1%. How do you read those numbers?
So, recovery, yes. We were up in production before the devastation, Beryl in particular. So it was pretty easy based on the intensity of Beryl to get back up to where we were before. So in terms of agriculture, in terms of all the sectors that would have been impacted in that side of the island, which is the western side again, that kind of growth, but that kind of recovery would have been expected. But my non-economist assessment of the situation comes back down to supply and demand versus prices and how this translates to the persons in the economy, both businesses and individuals. How much more cheap or expensive are the goods that and services that I'm purchasing, and what would have influenced the prices, whether up or down, of those particular inputs in the economy and my business and in my personal economy. And that is where I think the true measurement of growth or decline for me comes down. But all in all, I'm not seeing any surprises in the numbers. The 1.1% growth overall is expected.
5.1.
Where I would look. Sorry, 5.1 yards. And that number is huge. The US economy, with all the foolishness that is going on, go 4 point something% over that period. So 5.1 within that short space of time, even at recovery. I'd love to drill down in the numbers and see which businesses, which sectors, and who in those sectors would have driven that growth.
Yeah.
And speaking of driving that growth, is it fair to just dismiss it as recovery when you look at, for example, agriculture, which expanded by 20%? That's beyond just recovery. 21%. Thank you. That's beyond just recovery, isn't it, Keenan? Keenan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, so agriculture would have grown very exceptionally. But also remember that it had declined just as precipitously after the impact of Hurricane Beryl. So it may not only just be recovery, but the wider recovery was largely sector specific. So most of the sectors that were affected were goods producing. So you're looking at agriculture, manufacturing, mining, fishing. Those sectors are the ones that are responsible for the main rebound in this instance. So services grew as well, the services sector, but not as fast as the goods producing sector. And agriculture itself, having fallen so far 1 year ago, now had the opportunity to normalize both production and prices, and that is what really drove this recovery in this instance.
The issue, I'm looking at the graph here, gentlemen, of the Q3 growth numbers from 2020, and just for perspective, and comparison, even though the comparison can't be strict. In the third quarter of 2020, the economy declined by 9.4%. In quarter 3 2021, the rebound was 6.6%. Quarter 3 2022, 7.4%. Quarter 3 2023, 2.3%. Quarter 3 2024, it contracted by 3.2%. And quarter 3 2025, it expanded by 5.1%. I guess where I want you to analyze it from, Keenan, similar to what Donovan did, is to those who will just dismiss the numbers as pure recovery and not a signal of the resilience of the economy or even the economy's well-being. That kind of reasoning would make it seem as if, nothing had to be done for the 5.1% to be achieved. The 5.1% is a matter of course, given the damage caused by Beryl. And I just wanted to reason along those lines. Is 5.1% a matter of course, given where we're coming from post-Beryl?
So it does exhibit resilience, just as it was during COVID. So in COVID, we would have found that the resilience was shown by tourism. So the same thing that happened with COVID and tourism is the same thing that has happened now with Beryl and agriculture. And that is really in numbers. Now you're going to find that the first year after the event, that first quarter will be very high, and then growth will start to normalize after that and go back to its usual trend rate growth of 1 to 2%.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens, it is going to be around the next 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years thereabout. But in the initial instance, this is what the path will look like, and it's going to be the same thing now with Hurricane Melissa. So the quarter that is has just concluded, which is October to December, that quarter will now be negative 8 to 13%. And then over the most of 2026, you're going to find negative growth. But each successive quarter will now be so to speak, less negative than the previous one. So that's exhibiting a sort of V-shaped recovery. And then that V-shaped recovery now will take us into 2027, where growth should start to be positive again. So that trajectory is really what I expect 2026 to look like. That's how recovery from the crises that have happened have now attained that sort of V-shaped, U-shaped recovery over time.
Yeah. Before we go to the breakdown of one, you asked about the areas where the performances were solid in. Of course, you'd expect that the goods producing industries would have done well, apart from agriculture, forestry, and fishing, which went up by 21%, manufacturing 8.4%, construction 5.5%, and then mining and quarrying 4% again. But in the services industries, transport and storage up 7.1%. Accommodation and food services, 6.8%. Electricity, water supply, waste management, 6.7%. Financial and insurance activities, 5.3%. Wholesale, retail, trade, repair of motor vehicles, installation of machinery and equipment, 3.1%. Education, health and other services, 2.5%. Information and communication, 1.5%. Real estate and business activities, 1%. And public administration and defense, the only one of the services industries which declined, and it contracted by 0.7%. Again, Donovan, the reasoning is, how are these numbers to be taken for granted? Because I hear a very strong argument about the recovery being matter of course. All of the numbers I just read, is it normal for this economy after a disaster to rebound as positively as the individual industries have done?
Not at all. Not to be taken for granted, but are to be interrogated. Not going too granular, but looking at, for example, that 21%. What constitutes that 21% growth? That number is huge. The recovery is very steep in that quarter, the third quarter. What would account for that steep recovery? What took place? You know, when a deeper analysis of the different sectors that would have contributed to that particular move, that 21% would have been a significant factor in the recovery process. If you look at, for example, you know, electricity sector and you know, goods producing sector, what did we produce more of to exceed recovery into you know, increase, you know, into growth?
Yes.
So those are some of the things that I would question, and you know, if those figures are interrogated and proven true, then fine, no problem. But to accept it at face value, you know, it's something that I don't think I would do at this point in time.
Yes. And Keenan, what guide, if anything, do the recovery numbers provide for government's spending priorities post a disaster? Well, we're in that period now of Melissa, because you would have spent and you would have moved expenditure from one area to the next to aid recovery. These numbers have shown that perhaps it is that you got it right in terms of the priority areas that you wanted to spend in for the recovery. So is that guide to be followed for this post-Melissa recovery period, the guide from Beryl?
I think some of the same allocations, that pattern could be followed. You know, it's going to have to be very targeted and deliberate in terms of the spending choices that the government makes now. So just to put everything into context, the government has to effectively deal with a $30 billion gap. That was the number that came out based on the fiscal policy paper. That is the revenue shortfall overall in the month of November after the passage of Hurricane Melissa. There was an $80 billion gap, which was staunched by the proceeds from the disaster risk insurance instruments that Jamaica had. So that situation is similar to COVID. In COVID, we had a $75 billion shortfall. So the government now will have to run a deficit for the next 4 fiscal years. And that may necessitate, well, it will necessitate additional borrowing to fill the gap. But as the government has said, it's about how those additional funds that will now come to the government over this time can be deployed in order to get growth in the shortest possible time. And some sectors will be affected naturally more than others in the aftermath of Melissa. So now getting that sort of targeted, deliberate expenditure on those sectors to kickstart the recovery, because it's not going to just now be dependent on say, just the services sector. You know, government wants to induce demand in the economy. That is going to now be accompanied by expansionary fiscal policy. And I think it also needs to be complemented by expansionary monetary policy. So,
including the reduction of interest rates.
Including the direction of interest rates.
Hold on, gentlemen. We have to take the break and come right back. After the break, we tidy up the points, and then we look ahead to the prospects for 2026.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 7:36.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is...
It's 24 degrees Celsius here in the capital city Kingston, 23 out west at Montego Bay, and 19 in Mandeville.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is...
Welcome back, listeners, viewers. We're talking the economy with economist Keenan Faulkner and president of the, past president of the MSME Alliance, Donovan Wignall. So Sir Wignall, you were going in there about interest rates. As you know, the Bank of Jamaica has held its interest rate, I believe now, for the 6th month in a row, with concerns about inflation and the deep, or the nature, or how deep that economic hit from Hurricane Melissa will be. You believe that policy is not the right idea going forward?
Absolutely not. I think, and you know what, I'm gonna be, I don't want to say playing the devil's advocate, but agreeing with DOJ at this particular point in time with them holding in the interest rate, because the banks are not following suit. If it is that the DOJ reduces its interest rates time and time again, then there has to be a corresponding reduction in interest rates to the end user of the system, which is the clients, the businesses and individuals. If that don't happen, then things are not going to change very fast. I think Keenan left on the matter of expansionary policy. I think the government needs to support put measures in place to really induce expansionary. We have to have expansionary kind of thinking going forward. How do you expand the economy? How do you increase GDP? What is needed? One of the most important things is financing and support for those sectors that are going to drive growth. Agriculture, building and construction, some of the service industries, manufacturing of all kinds. Those are things that need support to push the GDP of the country. If you don't do that, then we are going to be in the same 1% situation. This 5% over that particular period of time, in that last quarter, I would question every single item on that list, because at the end of the day, if we're going to grow, we need financing to grow. And if we're not getting it from that side, and the BOJ, if you hear what they say, time and time again, you listen to Richard Biles at BOJ, Governor Biles. He's basically begging the banks to listen, follow suit, reduce your rates, let us have some growth. But inflation at this particular point in time, it is there. Prices are high. You just have to check your supermarket bill from last week to this week and to know that inflation is there. At the end of the day, yeah, we're going to have some inflation, but we need to, one, increase demand in the economy, and two, provide the necessary financing and the necessary oil to that engine that would start to make the economy move in a particular direction. What is happening now is not going to cause that to happen.
And Keenan, this matter of finding the financing to fuel the recovery, isn't that what the near $7 billion package split between the private sector and the public sector exists to solve? Isn't it a matter of how we go about utilizing that going forward?
Yes, that is part of the equation, but I just want to endorse Donovan's comments. I don't think he could have said it any better. The monetary environment still remains tight. So even though financing may be available, at what cost is the financing that is available? You want to ensure that the monetary environment is a little looser. That might also include some lowering of capital requirements, not just on the interest rate side, but even speaking about interest rates. Of course, the mandate of the central bank is to maintain price stability. And, we hear the press conferences, we see the conversations. But the legislation for the Bank of Jamaica also points out that the bank should carry out its functions in such a way that supports the growth objectives of the government. So that can also mean, at times where it is necessary and the government wants to get growth in the economy, particularly in this short space of time post Hurricane Melissa, where we don't expect inflation, I think, to be long and protracted. It might be very sharp, but it's expected to be of a very short duration. And I think that is where the trade-off comes in. Are you going to, in the quest to rein in inflation, basically strangle demand in the rest of the economy? And just going back to the growth figures, when we look at goods producing sectors versus the services sector, there was less demand in the services sectors So if you want to be able to induce the sort of demand that will accelerate growth, get people spending, remember, people will now be unemployed, incomes will be lost. The domestic demand now has to come from elsewhere. That's going to come from the financing that entities are able to receive. You're talking about entities in the agriculture sector, tourism, construction. They all need loans. They all need liquidity to be able to rebuild and to rebuild much more quickly. The speed of the recovery now matters more than anything else. And just even looking at the nature of inflation. So inflation, I think, will now just be susceptible to a supply shock. So it has nothing to really do with accelerating demand. People are not going to be spending because they have more money in their pockets. They actually have less. So it's not a case where you now need to rein in demand by now keeping interest rates elevated. It needs to now be the opposite.
And on that note then, Keenan, are you suggesting that the Bank of Jamaica should change course rather than holding their policy rate? They should reduce it further, or do you feel it's just a failure of the commercial banks following through?
So, I mean, it's really both. The commercial banks will tell you that the reason they have not lowered rates because when interest rates are higher, their liabilities on their balance sheet, so customer deposits, would have been more expensive. So they have to wait until those liabilities will roll off the balance sheet before they can start to lower rates. That's just one of the things in the monetary transmission mechanism that they have not, that militates against the immediate rate reductions filtering through. On the BOJ side, I agree with the decision to have held it in the last quarter, but for most of 2026, I think gradual rate reductions over the period would be appropriate in the circumstances. I don't think it's going to be necessarily aggressive, but the signal, I think, to the rest of the market now needs to change. Remember, the policy rate itself is a signal to the rest of the market. So the signal that is sent, hope that the commercial banks will be more likely to pick up on it.
Donovan, just before we go, the prospects for 2026, private sector was always going to spend, given the economy we have and the fundamentals and the encouraging environment, enabling even. Now, government is set to spend huge sums to build back large parts of the country damaged by Hurricane Melissa. So with all of that, how do you see 2026 panning out?
Well, 2026 is going to be a very interesting year. Remember, growth is not only the responsibility of the government, but also the responsibility of the private sector who is doing business in the economy. So, private sector is going to do business regardless, and they're going to make a profit regardless. That's what they're in business for. It's supposed to be a public-private sector partnership to grow the economy, to move the economy to where we would like to see it. So, if we have that proper partnership, and with the financing sector, the banking sector playing ball, easing the pressures on the economy, reduce the stranglehold on the economy with the reduction of interest rate, I think we can have a good 2026. Outside of that, we're going to just be crawling down the road and screaming for help.
Keenan?
So I think for most of 2026, all economic players, government, private sector, trade unions, everybody, we're all going to have to now be on the same page and pulling in the same direction. So even just going back to the point about expansionary and monetary policy, it makes some sense to plan to spend a lot of money and expand the economy, but at the same time, simultaneously pulling back demand and contracting monetary policy. Everything needs to work in tandem, because for 2026, as I've pointed out, growth will be negative for the whole year, or most of the year. So you're looking at the same sort of playbook during COVID. After COVID, the first 5 quarters were negative until we were able to get back into positive territory, and then we had 13 consecutive quarters of growth. So the speed of the recovery matters to a very great extent. The longer you take to recover is the more economic strain that you're going to have down the line. So incomes need to recover. The government now, I guess we will see that when the budget comes up in March, what the spending choices are going to look like. You know, the government has less room for maneuver in terms of just now trying to deliver some of the budget items that it has, because it is expected to run a deficit. So it has less revenue coming in, you know, but it still needs to spend. So now we have to see how that balancing act will shape up, and what the plans will be for at least the next 2 fiscal years.
Hear you on that. Gentlemen, thank you for your time this morning. All the best. We'll talk further in 2026.
All right. Thank you, George. Thank you.
Welcome.
Donovan McGill, Keenan Fort. They're after the break. What's happening with Michael Lee Chin and NCB? Do you want to know? Well, keep the dial locked.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is...
It's 7:49.
Hawkeye expresses heartfelt sympathy to all Jamaicans impacted by Hurricane Melissa. As we recover together, we remain committed to securing what matters most. The temperature by Hawkeye is...
It's 24 degrees Celsius here in the capital city Kingston, 23 in Montego Bay, and 19 in Mandeville.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift that keeps on giving. Speed Queen washers and dryers from Singer. Speed Queen appliances are built to last, providing you with reliable performance and efficient cleaning season after season. And for a limited time only, receive free laundry basket and Woolite detergent with your Speed Queen purchase from Singer. This Christmas, get 6 months to pay the cash price, 12 months no interest, and up to 24 months credit. Visit Singer today and get the ultimate laundry solution. Merry Christmas from Singer.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Prominent businessman Michael Lee Chin says the sale of his shares in NCB Financial Group is one of several options being considered as efforts continue to settle outstanding bond obligations held by AIC Barbados. He confirmed the details in a statement to the media on Tuesday. The billionaire investor says under the terms of the contract, AIC has activated a 45-day period beginning December 31 to address the amount due. The total is $94 million US in principal and interest. He says a full repayment of the bonds and the settlement of the amount within the time period are the other options being considered. He says he's closely working with his advisors and other personnel to determine the most appropriate and sustainable course of action. Questions have been flying around. What does this mean for NCB? What does it mean for NCB's investors, customers of the bank, the employees? Is this a bad sign for NCB at this point in the new year? Is Jamaica's biggest bank by assets in real trouble? To break it down for us, consultant economist Janelle J. McEwen joins us this morning. Happy New Year. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. Happy New Year. How are you doing?
We're doing well, doing well. We sought to get an understanding of the issues abounding for our listeners and viewers, for a comprehensive understanding of where things stand so that people can be informed as they participate in the numerous discussions around NCB status. So where I wanted to start for us this morning, Janelle, is NCB in trouble? If yes, why? If no, why not?
Okay, so firstly, let's start off with how we got here, right? So Michael Lee Chin is the controlling shareholder of NCB Financial Group since around 2002. So what he did was to grow his portfolio raise money through bonds issued by private companies, Barbados, Portland, etc. So those bonds totaling around 297 million are secured in NCB around 52%. Right? So for years it worked beautifully. So NCB grew, dividends flowed, everything was fine. But higher interest rates globally and some investment taking longer to pay off, we saw the NCB share price dropping from $200 in 2019 to $39 now. So the payment started to fall from around 2024 to 2025. So the bondholders said, hey, we're going to give you an extension to make a payment. But we thought...
Janil?
94 million, which was the strict forbearance agreement. So they asked to pay that, and he didn't meet that deadline. So what happened is that an automatic enforcement kicks in, a 45-day grace. The question is, your money is safe in NCB? Yes, this is a private business. This is at the shareholders level. It doesn't have anything necessarily or technically to do with the bank. So, yes, your money, as a customer, your money is 100% safe. So that is deposits, loans, all those things, they are safe in the bank. And we know that your deposits are protected by JDIC. So that's out the window. So the bank is operating normally.
So all right. If we describe, would it be fair to describe what's happening with Leachin and his bondholders as toxic? I know that the term has been flashed around, and I hate how it's being used, but you get the communication. Is there toxicity there, and is there any prospect of the toxicity spreading outside of that small captive group to the operations of the bank?
Okay. Yes, there is a possibility, because what we see now is that in the short term there is uncertainty. So and we can see that as the share price dropping, because investors are kind of speculating and losing confidence in the business. They're saying that what if, and the what ifs are impacting their decision to either hold or sell the share. However, what I must mention is that the toxicity will trickle down to the share price, not necessarily the operations of the company. Because as we would have seen, that NCB Financial Group is posting record equity, strong profits, and paying dividends again, I must mention again. So the long term, the bank remains Jamaica's strongest financial institution. And if there's a successful payment by January 26th, that would calm the nerves quickly, so the toxicity does not continue to permeate the financial industry.
And what about the impact on Leachin himself if he is forced to essentially utilize a percentage of the shares he holds in NCB to settle this outstanding debt? Would that essentially compromise his ability to retain control of NCB?
Yeah, most definitely. As you would have seen, he would have done this before, where he sold some of his shares to pay off debt. And if it is a case where he would have paid off some of the debt with his 52%, it's approximately 1 billion shares that he holds, which values around 330 million US. So yes, it would compromise his position. And a lot of talks are in the media that this is an attempt to really remove him from his position. I cannot confirm that. What I'm really saying is that yes, it might compromise his position as the chief holder, but that does not necessarily mean that it is a bad thing if the ownership is divested among smaller owners. It could really mean that when you don't have the ownership concentrated to just one person, where their decision or their personal decision affect the business so much, that could also be a good thing.
But you know, Janil, listen, let's step back a little bit. People are looking and saying, hold on, there was a high-profile removal of two men from the helm of NCB who, to the public, appeared to be running NCB brilliantly, Patrick Hilton and Dennis Cohen. Then Leachin comes back and says he'll be taking a stronger brief where NCB's day-to-day matters are concerned. He was back in the saddle, back working, and there was a new dawn. Not long after, because Hilton and Cohen have not been gone long, not long after we are in this position, What conclusion is the public to draw from all that?
Well, I see where you're going with this, but and I understand. And also as an investor and a customer for the bank, it's easy to jump to conclusions. But what the evidence states is that, he borrowed money against his shares. Global interest rate rose, we had burial, we had COVID and all of that. And because of that, his business, his private portfolio, it started to slow down. So we talk about the coffee, talk about Trident and all of that. So it had impacted significantly, and as a result, the cash flow started to slow down, which impacted his effort to repay these bondholders. And yes, they gave him some time, and then the strict forbearance kicked in, which he then later missed the date. So one can come up with a lot of conspiracy, and it may just have some truth to it. But at this particular moment in time, we have to stick to the facts.
No, I just wanted to add to that, Jaleel. What about the concerns? I know you said the operations of NCB won't be impacted, but in terms of investors in the company, aren't they a little nervous about the situation as it stands? I mean, we're talking about pensioners, people with their savings invested in the company, on the expectation that the share price is going to be at a certain level. Aren't there concerns on that level?
Yes, definitely there are concerns. However, I must reiterate that the bank is operating normally. So yes, the share price is really, it has decreased 23% this year, and it has been really volatile. Hence why I stated that in the short term, yes, we might see even more volatility depending on what happens coming January 6th. So yes, that is a call for concern. However, I can reassure customers that the bank is continuing to operate normally under strict financial regulation by FID, the JDIC, and other financial regulators. So yes, they are watching and waiting to see what will happen. So come January 26th, we will be able to make stronger conclusions as it relates to this matter.
From 2002 till now, Janelle J. McEwen, 23 years of Michael Leachin at NCB. Is his grip on NCB at its shakiest today?
Yes, most definitely. He has never been in a situation like this, and you can see Leachin missing a deadline to pay US $97 million, and then you hear that, business mogul Leachin a billionaire, we would have seen this. We would have seen all his business. So yes, this is definitely one of his shakiest moments as the leader of Jamaica, the Caribbean strongest financial institution.
I guess more to come. Thank you this morning for your time. We hope to talk again soon. All the best.
Okay, thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you and the team.
Yeah, man, same to you. Consultant economist there, Janelle J. McEwen, a voice you should be hearing more of as we discuss matters concerning finances and economics and banking. And break time. Back with more after this. Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 8:01.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Read it.
Across Jamaica this Friday morning, I'm Tana Thomas. Residents in Westmoreland are being urged to protect themselves against influenza. Public health officials emphasize vaccination and basic prevention practices to reduce the risk of severe illness and hospitalization. The warning comes as the flu season peaks. The season typically begins in October, peaks between December and March, and can extend as far as May. Health Promotion and Education Officer for Westmoreland, Gerald Miller, says that the influenza vaccine should ideally be taken before the start of the season, but noted that it can still prove useful if administered during the period. He advises that efforts continue throughout the season since the duration varies and influenza activity might not occur in certain communities until the latter part of the season. Miller says several priority groups are strongly encouraged to receive the vaccine. This includes healthcare workers, pregnant women, children over 6 months of age with chronic illnesses, non-health frontline workers such as police, Army Correctional Services, customs and immigration officers, parliamentarians, institutionalized persons, the elderly, and adults over 65 years old with chronic illnesses. Persons with chronic conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart problems, cancer, sickle cell anemia are also urged to vaccinate against the flu. Miller says vaccines are available free of cost through public health facilities across the parish, including at White House, Darlaston, Negril, Little London, and Grange Hill in Westmoreland. The police have reported the fatal shooting of a man in Westmoreland who they describe as a major high-risk target. He's identified as Delano Leslie, also known as Crazy. The police say Leslie and 2 of his associates were fatally wounded during an operation carried out by members of the Area 1 Fugitive Apprehension Team in Cornwall Mountain within the Bethel Town Police District on New Year's Day. They say 2 pistols were seized during the intelligence-led operation. 2 teen girls were shot and injured shortly after midnight on New Year's Day by what's believed to be falling projectiles from illegal gun salutes. The incident occurred at identical times in St. Catherine and Kingston. In one incident, a 13-year-old Canadian girl was sitting on her veranda in Greater Portmore, St. Catherine, watching fireworks when at 12:02 a.m. she reportedly felt a burning sensation on her thigh. The teen reportedly saw blood. She was treated at Spanish Town Hospital for a gunshot wound. In the other incident, reports are a 14-year-old girl from Bond Street in Kingston was sitting under a tree watching fireworks when she felt a burning sensation on her shoulder. The girl reportedly saw blood and was treated at Kingston Public Hospital for a gunshot wound. In the lead up to New Year's Eve celebrations, both the police and the Firearm Licensing Authority warned against illegal gun salutes. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Friday morning. I'm Tawna Thomas.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Informative, educational, insightful. Let's talk justice. Tackling topics like constitutional rights and reform, domestic violence, and rights issues that affect you. Let's talk justice every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Call in, share your thoughts, be empowered, know your rights, and let's talk justice, ensuring access to justice for all, courtesy of Jamaicans for Justice.
(8:11) on the clock. Today is the first day of the new year where we are working. Well, today is the first working day of the new year, beg your pardon. And we are turning to, or we're giving an opportunity to speak about what you want to see for 2026, the people and your expectations of them, your own expectations for yourself, what you'd like to see for the country, and how you are, if you are able to, contributing to the achievement of what you believe the country should set its mind to accomplishing in 2026. So the numbers 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-6730. Let's hear you. Make it snappy so that we can get as many calls through as possible. It's a long year, so we'll have a lot of time to go through a lot of things. So let's hear from you this morning on one of those numbers. So, Siobhan, you're the persons you are expecting. Well, what are you expecting from the opposition in 2026? Let me hear you on that.
Well, I think the Mark Golding kind of outlined his plans for 2026 in his New Year's message. He intends to essentially stick it to the government. Let me not put it so bluntly, but as you said, hold their feet to the fire in terms of the restoration processes for Hurricane Melissa. I suspect that with his increased size in the House of Representatives, he intends to get as much political mileage out of that as possible.
Mm-hmm. And from the government?
Well, the government remains the government, and I think they still consider themselves to be in the driving seat, and they will push back against any attempt to usurp that power, so to speak. And I suspect we're going to have quite a very lively Parliament this year, especially with March just around the corner and the budget debates not too far off.
Yeah. What do you expect of the unions in 2026?
Oh boy, that one is a trickier thing to really lock down, because I suspect the unions will still do as unions are supposed to do and want to do, and that is to get the best deal they can for their members. And I suppose it really comes down to the government's ability now to kind of walk through the raindrops and explain to the unions that things are not as easy as they would have been prior to Hurricane Melissa in terms of what they can be, their expectations for an increase. But I suppose the unions will still make the attempt to get the best possible deal for themselves.
Mm-hmm. All right, we can do that. Michelle, are we ready to go to the phones just yet? All right. So what one of the other things to ask is this. There are certain, not necessarily as bargaining units or trade union bodies. There are certain groups that you expect over the course of a year like this year to be agitating for improved terms and benefits for members. The Teachers Association, always, Police Federation, who've been quite quiet for the longest time. To be fair, since the restructuring of public sector wages, I haven't heard the Federation say much, and definitely since Rohan James left the Federation. And I mean, it's fair to say that the Federation under his leadership was being used as a political tool. I mean, there's no vacillation around that much was obvious. But the Federation has gone a different way. But the Federation, the JTA, the Medical Doctors Association, you expect, as you've said, that, notwithstanding what's happening in the economy, they will still go to the negotiating table and expect to extract for their members the maximum benefits. And you have to reconcile that against what the reality in the country is. But at the same time, they'll tell you that, yes, well, our members in a good economy, in a bad economy, our members struggle, and so they deserve these things. Do you think that they will take a step back given the rebuilding that must be done, or they'll push on full steam ahead?
I expect them to push on full steam ahead. I mean, we have previous crises, 2008, 2019, as the guidebook for these situations, and I don't see where they slackened, so to speak, in those periods of time. I don't expect them to do anything less than try to extract the best deal possible. As I said, it will be up to the government if it has the ability to push back against that attempt. And even before Hurricane Melissa, there were still concerns about the wage as a percentage of GDP and how that was quickly outpacing the country's ability to grow, and it seems almost lack of political will to push back against that long before we had the crisis of Hurricane Melissa.
Mm-hmm. This morning in What's on My Mind, you spoke about decency and a return to civility and social interactions and the need to improve those. And you spoke of the Japanese and what the national ethos is about order, discipline, and one of the things that could assist the point you were making, not that it needs any assistance, but Japan's football fans are known for being inside a stadium cheering on their team when the match ends, they clean up the section of the stadium that they occupy. They pick up every bit of paper, every refuse is picked up, bagged, and left for the cleaning staff. They just remove the bags. And they've become very, very much, they've become famous for doing it, which is an extension of the good values that are inculcated, at home. And they are dancing at home and dancing abroad. You know, dance yard before you dance abroad? They are literally doing that. Who do we have online? TV, man? Morning, sir.
Happy New Year to you, gentlemen.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Team.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Oh, my thing for the new year is to remind the opposition that they can all the things that they want, but they are not government. And they must work with the government to help reinforce things in the country, like help with crime, help stop propaganda, like telling their preacher and their people to them, the people that align with them, to look, not because we want power. You cannot go there and spell narrative on the government when it is not true, because it is not good for our country. I mean, outside the people looking in, not just Jamaicans, but the outside people that looking in, like Caribbean country. Because I was watching a thing yesterday where it's saying Jamaica is what, the second lowest in the Caribbean with debt.
Mm-hmm.
Other countries are higher than us, and other countries are worse than us.
So that's your message to the opposition this year?
Yes, and the government to keep steadfast in what they're doing. And as I hear Avilil was saying, that they have to remove some of the bureaucracy to get some things done, because some areas are moving very slow, especially when it comes down to the RADA. I think a lot of the RADA office is playing politics with the delivery and the things them, like even St. Mary here. I'm wondering, every day I hear about them tractor. I never saw them tractor up and running. I don't know why they're talking about RADA in St. Mary here. Some of them in St. Mary here.
Yes. So RADA is one of those agencies that you're looking to do better.
Handing down, yes, they're not handing down the things to the people and as they should. I think it's going to personal purpose,
yes,
more than the people in the general public.
And who are in need. All right.
You understand me?
We're
doing well.
Watch that one for you. Mm-hmm.
We're doing well. We're doing so good, and I'm really happy to see every country. How much we're making if they are 600? How much crime rate?
673. The murder tally.
The third, and that is included with the hurricane and so forth, right?
No, because that's just murder alone. Those who died in the hurricane would not be victims of murder.
We come nearly from 2020. We come nearly 1,000 people saved their life.
Yeah.
We come a far away.
Absolutely far
away. The
away.
police jump up, and that should be celebrated. That
yes.
Should be those things are supposed to be public. That's what I want. I'm not taking up the time, but
no,
this is what I want the government to do. These are things that the government is supposed to be running over the public telecast, internet system all over.
Well, to be fair to them, this has been communicated and this is being spoken about. The police are speaking about it, and the government.
They don't even credit the government.
No.
They don't even say we are part of the government in the lesser house. So we should be thanks for that, and thank you Jamaican people for letting this happen. Thank you the security force. Thank you for the mainstream government, the head of the government to let. I mean, you want power man, but give credit because you're part of whatever. When people say government thief or MP thief, they're not talking everybody, you know.
Everybody.
So,
everybody.
I mean, they clear your hand to man.
Yeah, man.
Stand up, man, and make it look what we do, man.
Yeah.
Look what country I come. Look what country is. Come on, man. They're doing a disservice for people getting good pay.
People are hearing. Thank you this morning.
Yes.
All right, sir.
All right, sir.
Good,
yes.
good. Who else we have? Joel, good morning.
Morning. Morning, all.
Morning.
Morning, Joel.
Happy New Year to the staff of Nationwide, which is classified as Jamaica's #1 radio station.
Thank you, sir.
There are three quick points that I just want to raise. One, George, we expect an improved performance from Manchester United in the new year.
Hold on. Can I say to you, I was sitting at home yesterday. Yeah, and I was on my patio with reading a book. And a feeling just come over me. I'm saying to myself, there's something, George, that you have not acknowledged. And that is, Manchester United's wretched performances since 2013 have affected my quality of life.
Likewise.
I am not the same because my team is just rubbish. And you want to pretend that all is well. And people see me smiling at daytime, and I laugh and I go on, I'm hurting inside because Manchester United are so rubbish. So, boy, I tell you what, sure.
Yeah, man. So we're looking forward to some improved performances. Two, I am expecting that the government will put forward with its manifesto plan. They put it forward to us. We voted for it, and we expect that they would stick to their manifesto plan, and also to advance the restoration plan that was articulated in those parishes that were affected by Hurricane Melissa. We expect that the government should still push forward with those plans because we want to build back stronger so that our economy can continue to grow and improve and create more job opportunities. And the final one, George and your listeners, too often I listen to the opposition leader and the Prime Minister New Year's messages, and for some sneaky reason I see where the opposition leader was forced to sneak in the politics. And being that he sneak in the politics, I just have one question for the opposition leader. I think he'd love to use this word, integrity.
Yeah.
And I would like the opposition leader to explain and define the definition of integrity. Because after the Hurricane Melissa, the opposition, they actually created a GoFundMe in aid of assisting persons that were affected by Hurricane Melissa.
Yes.
I would like the opposition leader, through his secretariat, to answer the question. One, how much money was collected on behalf of the residents that were affected by Hurricane Melissa? Two, which bank account was used for these funds, because we want tons of explanation. And three, how these funds will be spent and which agency will be mandated to spend those.
But hold on a little bit. You start well enough, but then you drift, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
The People's National Party is a private institution in real terms, sir.
But you use the name of the country. You use the name of.
Well, there you go. That's where you're still onto something. But the PNP as an organization is not obliged to tell you how much money them collect or which bank account and all that. Yeah, but you are saying that because Mr. Golding has branded himself as an integrity champion, even so, he must just lay out the whole light to the public for scrutiny. Is what you're saying?
But if you want me to trust you, and see you as an alternative government, you have to open up the book there.
I hear you. A lot of people feel like you. A lot of people feel like you, sir. A lot of people feel like you. All right.
Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, man. Cool. 8:26. Who else we have, Michelle? Oh, let's take the break and come right back. We're being told. More calls after these.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 8:26.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside is...
It's 25 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston. It's the same out west in Montego Bay, and it's 20 in Mandeville.
This Christmas, choose life. As we recover from Hurricane Melissa's devastation, we're reminded that life is fragile. Pedestrians, stay alert. Drivers, slow down. Rest if you're tired, and never drink and drive. One careless decision can change a family forever. Let's have a safe and prayerful Christmas and a crash-free 2026.
Welcome back to Nationwide. This morning we're taking some calls and just talking about some of the things we want to see for 2026. One of our friends in the YouTube chat, Raymond Taylor, says, "No, George, that's not true." I don't know what it is, which part of it is not true. It may have been the part about the PNP not being obliged to share those details because it's a private institution. It is a private institution. The PNP is not a national organization, sir. And that's why the parliament that we have does not recognize political parties. It recognizes members of parliament. So it's the member from here, member from there, member from there. So there's no PNP in parliament, there's no JLP in parliament. They are members of parliament. The parliament does not recognize political parties. So the fact of the PNP being a private organization and not being subject to the same rules as the parliamentary opposition or the government, those are facts, Raymond. So if that's what you're talking about, then no, sir, I'm not wrong.
But it's still the matter of the principle, though.
Yeah, and the caller said it, that even though the PNP are private, given Mark Golding's stance and integrity, and then given that whatever the PNP would have marshaled or attracted would have been in aid of Jamaica. So you use Jamaica's name and you say that it's a relief effort for Jamaicans. Then people are demanding that the books be open. And I'm not against the books being open. I'm just saying that you can't hold them to the same standard that you'll hold a government organization, because they're not. Huh? Alric, good morning.
Morning, George. Morning, Siobhan. First thing, Happy New Year to you guys and the station and a whole. Secondly,
thank you, sir.
Happy and prosperous New Year to all the 4%ers of which I'm a part, including those on YouTube, and all my friends, all the 4%ers, including you too, George, because you know the leader of the 4%ers.
Yeah.
And George, if I don't tell you this morning, I can't go back to Santa Cruz and I can't go to Junction. Two of your ardent listeners,
yes,
people whose radio no come off.
Yes.
Mr. Samuels down in Santa Cruz, birthday was yesterday.
Yes.
And there's a gentleman from Ballard Valley, Mr. Elliott. Birthday was yesterday, and them radio no come off and nationwide, them beg me, big them up for me, sir. And them
no, you are big them up, so big them up yourself.
And it's the big boss birthday today.
Today, Cliff birthday, yes.
Happy birthday, Mr. Hughes, the leader of the 4% Patches. Hope you have a good one. And later, when you're drinking a beer, just drink half a minute, half a George.
Yes, sir.
All right, George. I never know that Manchester United being that bad would have affected your daily way of life.
Yeah, man, it does. It significantly does, sir.
So when you hear me about Liverpool, you know where I'm coming from.
No, Manchester United thing different from Liverpool thing.
Because of your institution.
Trouble me a trouble, man. The same pain, man. Same pain.
My team and your team and your
yeah,
team.
man. I same pain. Same pain.
Siobhan, big watch on my mind this morning. Good way to start the year.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
You guys have a big year, good year, and continue being the number one station in the Caribbean.
Thank you, sir.
Big up on yourself, man.
Respect every time.
All right, then.
Yeah, man.
All right, Siobhan.
Good. I want the listeners to start the year the way they ended it, being sensible. Nobody is saying that the books shouldn't be opened. That's not what we're all agreed that they should. Especially if you go on a platform and say, yeah, invite money for help Jamaicans. Of course you should. Yes. Open it up, because see who wants in the bank accounts. No, I just put the thing in there. So because he said that, and the reason I said it, because I could have cut him off at the top and said it. He said he wants to know which state agencies are going to be spending, the monies are going to be spent through. So you have to stop there, because he's saying no, but it's a private institution, so yeah, mix it up with state aid. Right. So it's as if some people would want us to not point out that the PNP is a private organization. It is. And you could have fulminate till you're blue. That doesn't change the fact. And at the same time, and I don't know where the people who are trying to make it seem as if it is not private, where would you come from? Because you could never be a nationwide listener and reacting that way to a point of fact, even though the unassailable point is that those who want the things to be open for there to be an examination of how much funds were collected and how the funds will be spent We're all agreed on that, and that is the big point. So what is wrong with pointing out the fact that it is a private institution? Like no one will say it is not private. Jesus.
It's a simple matter of critical thinking.
Carl, good morning.
Morning, 4%. Morning.
Yeah, man. They just get me dark on the first day of the new year. What is wrong with people, man? Yeah.
Anyhow, the gentleman raised one of the issues that I was planning to raise this morning concerning the finance where the opposition get. Mr. Golin must remember that he is the head of the opposition.
That's right.
And whatever him asks for, integrity and accountability and all of those, you can't go and ask for donation on behalf of Jamaica and nobody must know how much you collect.
That's right.
That is wrong, Golin. Anyhow, my biggest concern in with the opposition, I would like to see an opposition leader which doesn't go on a platform and lie on somebody. I want somebody when he speak on behalf of the opposition, I can believe him. And Golden went on a platform and the debate between him and Andrew Holness and lie publicly to the world about two things. 28 bank book and Andrew Holness is under investigation. That was a lie. And up to today, I heard nobody from the opposition try to point it out to Golden that him lie on a platform. And me and you, George, I come from a long time. Big man now. No say anybody who a lead like that couldn't go up on a national platform and lie about something and still remain where he is today.
You know what was troubling for me, Carl. I can understand the political imperative of talking about 28 bank accounts before a certain point. I said, all right, fine, it's fair game. But after it was established that there were not 28 bank accounts, I thought the argument was settled. So I was very disappointed during the debate to hear it mentioned as a fact. Yeah, that for me was the part I'm saying, no. This is unacceptable. Yeah, if I cannot accept my opposition leader repeating what was a blatant lie. Yeah.
A lie. And anyhow, Master George, last night I watched a television news which a lady and a gentleman read the news. And I was shocked to know that them read the whole of the news. And we have under 700 murder this year. And they mention nothing about it.
What?
I'm going to repeat to you. I listened to news last night.
You sure you watch it at the start?
Yes, Master George.
From start to finish?
Yes, Master George.
And no mention of 673 murders for 2025?
Until them went international news fast. And Master George, I have to sit back properly because Master George, I cannot believe that one of the prominent TV stations around Jamaica could read the news from start to finish, and we have under 700 murder in Jamaica, and you say nothing about. I want to know who right.
Right, I was going to tell you to not blame the presenters because they read what they get to read.
And I agree with
Yes, don't blame them.
I'm not an idiot, no, Master George. I was going right there.
Yes.
But Master George, if it was the other way around, Master George.
Oh, yes.
It would have spread.
Yes.
And one of the, I want to go back to something which I heard a private sector gentleman from Montego Bay, I think it was Monday evening or Tuesday evening, said about the police force. I have to sit again properly because I'm getting some type of news in Jamaica. I wonder if I'm in Singapore. This is not Jamaica. And the reason why I said that, the gentleman said in a Monday evening or Tuesday in a re-broadcast, Monday, one of those evenings, that first time the police force would have to come to them in Montego Bay, come beg them, fail them make up by one car.
Yeah.
That is no more. And him also said when you look at them uniform,
yes,
it is so clean
yes,
and proper to the people who are serving the country.
Yes.
And also I heard him say also that them are getting a very good salary. So I have to wonder if I'm in Singapore.
Anyway, you fire your shot for the new year. Your first shot for the new year, sir. Thank you very much for your contribution last year. I will hope to hear more from you this year.
All right, sir.
All right, good. Jamaican for Life in the YouTube chat says, George, opposition is recognized by the parliament and the opposition should be held accountable for the Melissa relief funds.
Yeah, but the funds were not collected on behalf of the opposition. It was collected on
point.
behalf of the
Yeah,
PNP.
just listen. No, and you know better to know Jamaican for Life. So again, you said opposition is recognized by the parliament. We said that. And then you say the opposition should be held accountable for the Melissa relief funds. The opposition never asked for $1 in Melissa relief funds. The PNP did. Which is why you can't point to a speech in Parliament where the opposition said donate to XYZ fund that we have set up. But the PNP did at their press conference. There's a difference. And it's like, we don't want to acknowledge the difference and that there's a difference. Yeah?
And once again, I think the point is being lost that you are not suggesting, I am not suggesting, that the PNP should not account
we are saying yes,
for the
they should.
sums that they have received.
Yeah.
What we're saying is that they're not obliged to, based simple on the fact that they are not the government and they're not spending taxpayer dollars. But we're still saying they should be held to account as a representative of the people and collecting money on behalf of the Jamaican people for a expressed purpose.
Yes.
That is what we're saying.
We are saying
it's
that they
a matter
should.
of critical thinking.
Yeah, man. Put it on the table.
Critical thinking. Two
We
things
want to
can
see.
exist in one space.
I want to see. You want to see. We all want to see. We need to see. And the next time we have the chance, we'll ask the opposition leader to make the disclosure. Anthony's on. Good morning, sir.
Morning, my brother George and Siobhan. How are you guys doing?
Morning, sir.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yeah, man. Same to you.
George, I feel a pain to as a Manchester United fan, brother. Sometimes I not even can wear my jersey go work. I can't tell you the truth. Yeah. But, yeah, for real, man. For real. But hope. There's hope still. George, quickly. And there's a number of things that I want to say, but the time not going to allow us. But one of my things, first and foremost, George, is for the education of the students in Western Jamaica to restart. I saw where Minister Mackenzie was addressing some misinformation over the weekend. But George, to be fair, I have watched a lot of people who are in the space, and I'm going to say Petersfield exam to be exact. And I know that the area. All right, you know that Westmoreland is where I grew up, so I'm familiar with the area. And George, I am seeing person who I know for a fact that did not have a house before the hurricane, who is on social media leading this charge about people about getting house and stuff and all of them things that from the government.
Yes.
And I am saying, George, that I understand Minister Mackenzie, you know, and I mean the politics of not want to rubber feathers and all those things. But George, some of these persons need to point where the house that they were living in before the hurricane that get mashed up or whatever, that they are now demanding house from the government.
And that,
You know
Anthony,
what I'm
and
saying?
that, stick up in, and that, my friend, is why the assessments have to be as detailed as they have been, because me know how people stay. You who never had a house for yourself are now going to demand of the authorities to give you a house. You're going to create a stink over it, because you're going to pretend as if you had a home that was destroyed and you're in the same boat as so many people who did have houses who were destroyed, and you're going to expect one, and if one not come to you, you're going to raise hell. So that is why the assessments have to be so detailed and take as long as they are taking, because you have to make sure.
Right, and because I'm telling you, one of the person who I'm seeing on social media lead out there and talking up a lot of stuff, George, this man never owned nowhere. Him not even can go in mother house.
And you know him personally?
Of course I do, by name. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that is one of the things, Judge, and I think if the government is making a temporary arrangement for them to move to make the school space available for the students to go back and resume their education, come on, man, consider the children, no?
Yeah.
And stuff. Why do you want to stay in the space?
You know, what I'm comforted by is that if the state decides that it wants the school back, the state will get the school back. So I'm not fretting over that. Because if the state deployed, yeah, so, you know, no, but I just want to ensure every single person who is due to get the housing assistance, that they are the ones who get it. And I pray that not one individual who should not get it ends up getting it. That's my prayer.
Right. Yep. Yeah, Judge, outside of that though, for the new year, Judge, I know we love the politics, and I love politics. But one of my prayer, Judge, is to see where both the PNP and the JLP, for the benefit of Jamaica, can at least come together and work to enhance the country. Yes, everybody wants to lead, but everybody can't lead at the same time. All right, so right now the JLP is at the wheel, and I'm not saying that, okay, you're going to endorse and rubber stamp everything that the government is doing, but the things that is going to benefit the country, George, let us come together and just work. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my dreams, George. It's kind of far-fetched, but
yeah. Hear you.
See where we can go.
Thank you for that.
All right, brother.
Good.
Yeah, man.
You know, how is it? Yesterday was New Year's Day. And I don't know which station Carl is talking about. But how could a newsroom of any substance whatsoever have a newscast in prime time, which is between 7 and 9, and our two major TV stations both start news at the same time at 7 o'clock? So how could you have I'd like to hear the editor tell me why you would have a story on New Year's Day and no story on the annual murder tally and the context of the number, linking it to what happened last year and historically where the number lies. And
I do think that, and I've said this before, that there is a trap that a lot of journalists fall into where they believe news has to be bad news, and we tend to practice it almost as a matter of course, that, well, if it's good news we can ignore it. Mm-hmm. And I think that is often what has befallen some of our competitors. They don't want to point out the good news. That's par for the course.
But I'd accept the point, and it's a very strong point you make. I'd accept the point, though, if it was a regular thing. You're talking about people's lives, life and death. You're literally talking about life and death. I don't think that applies to life and death. So it's not a good news, bad news. Oh, it's good news, not report. It's life and death. It is so important, the murder tally. So when you do that, and then someone accuses you of not being happy that the murder tally is what it was, and that you are biased, how do you defend yourself? How do you defend yourself? This is the problem media puts itself in. So, you know, Carl said I'd want to watch both of them myself from start to finish, because I fail to believe that on New Year's Day, the day after we recorded fewer than 700 murders for the first time since 1994, the thing that has caused every house, so many houses to have burglar bars, the thing that has given rise to so many security companies,
yes,
the thing that has given rise to so much expenses for companies trying to secure property, staff, machinery and equipment, the thing that has caused so many people to be fearful about going to and from in this country, the thing that has been the number one problem in this country. We are making gains where the resolution of that is concerned, and you don't report it. I'll say this morning, I don't believe Carl, because that cannot be true.
So Carl, I don't believe you. Lie, you tell it.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 8:47.
Grabs Morgan singing, you know, is it Cliff Walk something, you know, Cliff Newey or Cramps Morgan. Cliff Hughes, today's your birthday, sir. Happy birthday to you on this January 2. All the best to you coming from all of the staff here at Nationwide 90 FM. Wishing you all the best for 2026 in business and in your personal life. Clifton Gladstone. Happy birthday to you, sir. Yeah, big up yourself. You can take a lot of birthday greetings from your listeners in the YouTube chat, as you would expect. Yeah, you know that they love you. Otherwise, I'm seeing Annalise saying happy 85th birthday to Mrs. Rita Brand from August Town. Annalise says she's Cliff's biggest fan and today's her birthday. So Rita Brand turns 85. She's in August Town. Happy birthday to you, Annalise. Dahlia Shirley says belated happy birthday greetings to my little brother Torrain from Kellitson, Clarendon, who celebrated his birthday on January 1. So Dahlia Shirley's birthday his brother celebrated his birthday on January 1. Let me see. Annie Smith says, big up Sister Nancy on her Earth Strong. Bam bam. What a bam bam. She said arguably the most sampled dancehall song in history. Sister Nancy, happy birthday to you. You know Annie Smith would not have forgotten that. What else do we have?
Well, over on Facebook I see here happy birthday to Christine Holton McCoy, Garfield Servicey, Ramon the Real DJ Rome, Althea Smith, Trishy Booty, Thomas, Simone Clark, Donna Wishart, as well as Monique Lewis, Marian Allen, and Toya Lee, all celebrating their birthday on this day, the 2nd of January. Happy birthday to all of you over there on Facebook.
One of our top listeners, Kirk Buchanan, the man in cold Canada, celebrates his birthday on January 3. That's tomorrow. Well, Carleen Smith has put in the birthday greeting for your early Kirky. So January 3 is your birthday. Happy birthday when it comes. She says, may you be blessed with all your heart's desires.
Where else do we go?
I see, if I'm right here, this is Michelle McCrae is sending out a very special birthday greeting. That's our editor Michelle, to her brother Michael McCrae. She says she's wishing him a day filled with joy, happiness, lots of blessing. And we also have a very important birthday. Happy birthday to my friend and sister from another mother, Debbie Carr, January 3, wishing you a wonderful day, and that is as well coming from Michelle McCrae.
Yeah. Leroy Rotty, of course, has to send birthday greetings for Kirk as well. Them two, they are big brethren. So, yeah, man. Yes, Leroy, I did drop it already. And of course, Kirk is getting a lot of greetings. Cliff is getting a lot of greetings. They're dominating the chat this morning. Cliff Hughes and Kirk Buchanan. Cliff today, Kirk tomorrow. And happy birthday to you, gentlemen. Turn up.
We also have a birthday greeting for one of our own. That's Lisa Andrade Thompson. She's also celebrating a birthday today.
Oh, yeah?
So happy birthday, Lisa. Yeah? And enjoy your day coming from your nationwide family.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, Lisa. Top person. First class person, Lisa Andrade Thompson is. And I wish her all the best on this day.
And how could I forget? I suppose it wasn't today, but still, happy belated birthday to Sonia Stewart.
No, Sonia's birthday wasn't belated. Your greeting is belated. It says belated happy birthday.
Correct. Thank you for the correction. Happy belated birthday greetings to Sonia Stewart.
Yes.
Celebrating her birthday on January 1, I believe was the case. So happy birthday to you, Sonia. I hope your day was special. You always brighten my day whenever you're around. I hope to see you later this afternoon.
Robert Luar says, happy birthday to my son Stephen Luar from 66 Kennedy Drive, Ensom City, Spanish Town in St. Catherine. Stephen, your daddy sending happy birthday greetings to you. You're there in Ensom City, Spanish Town, and he says he loves you a lot. Sonia, you don't know the thing, my girl. You know, we are a long time. Happy birthday to you, Sonia. Belated greetings at least. Yesterday was your special day. So Saturday January 3 is the birthday of Kitara Marie Hines Davis. That's my girl. Yeah, she is 15 years old tomorrow, and your Uncle Jermaine King is sending happy birthday greetings to you, and of course you know it's coming from Daddy as well. All right, Kitara, January 3, you're 15 years old. 15. Yeah, 15 years ago. Yeah, King, we did the hospital together after 5. Yeah, cover story just a start, and I had to run and go deliver. Well, not deliver, but
oversee the delivery.
Stand by and watch. So yeah, 15 years old on January 3. Happy birthday to you when it comes, my dear. Juliet Sanchez says, George, can you big up my sister in Maryland, Geraldine Higgins? Your restaurant was voted the top Caribbean restaurant in Maryland. What? Geraldine Higgins, your restaurant, the top Jamaican restaurant in Maryland, and there are several. So congratulations, man, and you're Juliet Sanchez's sister as well. So Geraldine Higgins, all the best to you. Congratulations for having the top-rated Caribbean restaurant, not Jamaican restaurant, Caribbean, so bigger than that. Top-rated Caribbean restaurant in Maryland. Congratulations to you. Joelle Hamilton, Kimone's daughter, your birthday is on Sunday. You're going to be 14 on Sunday, Joelle. Congratulations to you for making it and for making Mommy and Daddy proud. And I hope that you enjoy the day on Sunday. And Mommy says that she has something special for you. All right?
As a few keen listeners pointed out, Michael Lee Chin's birthday is tomorrow. He will be 75 on January 3. So happy birthday to you, Mr. Lee Chin. I hope you enjoy your day.
Excellent. Anyway, turn on the tune go play now, King. A big tune this.
Judgment. I said the wicked man will have to fall, and all the righteous man will have to stand tall. And the wrong man them got call, and now them back against the wall them fall.
Vivacious Verlene Hall Smith says, happy birthday to my beloved sister Claudia Walters Fuller. May God continue to cover you with his grace, strengthen you, and bless you abundantly in the year ahead. Claudia Walters Fuller, happy birthday greetings coming to you from your sister Vivacious Verlene Hall Smith. Jennifer Gillard says, happy birthday to my mother from Chateau in Mapen. Her birthday was yesterday. So what's your mother's name, Jennifer? You should have put her name, man. Anyway, the mother of Jennifer Gillard, who is in Chateau, Mapen, I hope I pronounced that right, Clarendon. Your birthday was on Sunday. Your daughter sending birthday greetings for you, belated birthday greetings for you. Viv Gooden says, happy birthday to niece Olivia from Auntie Paulette. Auntie Paulette sending happy birthday greetings to Olivia. All the best to you on this day, Olivia. I see Ishan Khan asking me a question. The answer to that, Ishan Khan, is August 15. August 15 is the answer to your question, alright? Good.
Answer to your cry. Bless me, mighty Jaja, bless me, so that they can curse me. Bless me, mighty Jaja, bless me, yeah. Bless me, mighty Jaja, bless me, so that they can curse me. Bless me, mighty Jaja, bless me. Ooh, I'm in the midst of strangers, oh Lord. Strangers without love and mercy. Strangers without dignity. Strangers who don't want to live in harmony. Bless me, mighty Jaja, bless me, so that they can curse me. Bless me, mighty Jaja, bless me. Bless me, mighty Jaja, bless me, so that they can curse me. Bless me, mighty Jaja, bless me.
Alright, time for us to go to make way for Norgay Banton and then Cliffy's Online at 10. So I want to say thanks to all the contributors, all of those who listened to us this morning. Those who are with us in 2025, thank you for your support, and we expect you along the journey in 2026. And Chris Mullings, what was a 4%ers, we don't think we're a 4%, but the critics say we are, so we run with it. They're not going to use it as a belt to beat us. Yeah, so since they want, we are self-parodying. That's what we're doing. So, yeah, man, we're showing the ridiculousness of calling us 4%ers. So we call ourselves 4%ers to make a lie and to make a hypocrite and to make a fool of those who say only 4% of people in Jamaica listen to Nationwide and around the world. Yeah, it's ridiculous, not true? Yeah, man, so we will forever be the proud 4%ers. Since they say 4%, because remember the other part of the slogan is, they say only 4% listen, yet everybody hears. That's what we have been playing on, Chris. So I see you in the chat, questioning it and explaining it and interrogating it. It is meant as a middle finger to our critics. That's exactly what it is. My name is George.
And I'm Shavon Campbell. Have a good morning. Here is the Rasta youth voice giving thanks. Hey, Jaja, give my man health and strength. Working for you makes no sense. You could never put a dime in my pocket. King Selassie on the front line, so watch this. Tide over rose. Emperor Selassie, I them your road. Rugged and steep, I know it is a must. For us to make it home, even through them, you're gnashing up teeth. Hey, guide over rose. Only Emmanuel, road too rugged and steep. I know it is a must.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Statistics and economics, have them going so kinky. My draw from Rasta man sang me bingy drum, me calabash chalice and Babylon so me crazy, giving praises. Now ya bingy eyes our business. Me no
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Your taxes hold the key.
Motorists,